All right, I'm going to admit, and I'm admitting.
Whoa, this is just blown up a bit.
All right, I'm going to keep watching the waiting room, and please bear with me, everyone. My name's Amy. I'm from NuCalm. I'm going to do a very brief introduction. We are so excited to have William here with us. And
Hi.
a couple quick housekeeping items. We are going to ask everyone to remain on mute to minimize any distractions. We will make this recording available and forward it by the end of the week. And I'm delighted to introduce Ken Corigliano. His name is Air Force Ken, and he is going to be interviewing William on our behalf. He is an active service member, and he's the winningest athlete in endurance sports, and he really focuses on stress to his body and also recovery. So he knows a little bit about what William's doing. And then I want to introduce the CEO of our company, who's going to share a special surprise that we have fixed up for all of our Transcon effort folks that are following William along with us. So with that, Ken, I'm going to go on mute if you could take it away.
Sure, absolutely. So for folks who may not be tracking exactly what is happening in America right now, I do want to give Will just kind of summarize what you're doing as far as the endeavor that you're about to achieve here.
Okay, so I'm running across the United States of America. I started in Huntington Beach, California, and hopefully by Saturday, I will be at the Tavern on the Green in Central Park, New York, raising money for cancer charities, one in the UK that I've worked with a lot, Macmillan Cancer Support, and then also the American Cancer Society over here. They both offer cancer support, but the American Cancer Society also are involved with cancer research, so trying to rid the world of this terrible disease that unfortunately affects 1 in 2 of us. I'm sure everyone in this call, one way or another, knows someone that's got cancer, battled cancer, lost their battle. So it's something that affects all of us. And my main reason for doing this is because I lost my mum 5.5 years ago to non-Hodgkin lymphoma. So that's why I'm on this journey, and that's what actually got me into running in the first place. So yeah, that's a decent brief summary, I think.
Well, it's an incredible motivator. I'm sure the motivational love is amazing, and we're all about that at NuCalm. And it's interesting about cancer. There's a very interesting correlation between sports, elite sports, and cancer patients, which is unlimited replication of cells and a lot of stress that people go through and a lot of nutritional requirements as a result. So I'm very interested, just for some folks, I specialize in intense, very fast, much shorter distances in racing and obstacle courses and triathlons as well. But there's some very important stuff that we want to know with Will here today is you're going how many miles total?
It's going to be around 3,100. We found some shortcuts along the way, which is good, but I'm trying to get there as quickly as possible. So yeah, the original route was 3,175, but yeah, I think we've reduced that to around 3,100. So I'm happy about that.
I'm very curious too on the impact that NuCalm in the suite of the neuroacoustics has had on this journey, and if it's played part in your planning. Like, would you have even tried this if you didn't have the software? I'm very interested in that.
I would have, but as I've kind of referenced before, I would really not want to do it without it. It's the best way I can describe it is it's like my reset button within the day. So I have a big stop around anywhere between mile 30 and 42 seems to be the sweet spot, where I'll have an hour break, which includes anywhere between, well, I've used the 30-minute, 40-minute, and 50-minute rescue track. And basically when I come out of that, as I said, it's like hitting the reset button. I feel very calm, and I just feel ready to take on the rest of the day and the rest of the mileage. Just trying to slog out over 50 miles in a straight shot it's kind of daunting day after day when I've been doing it. I'm on day 50 now. So yeah, it's played a huge role, and I listen to the deep sleep tracks at night. That helps me helps me get off to sleep and get really deep, good sleep. So yeah, I feel like it's like my cheat code, and I use it in regular life. I've used it on previous challenges, and it makes a huge difference. And I can't speak highly enough of it, to be honest.
So your past use of it gained you confidence and allowed you to pick like what your kind of like your sequence was, kind of like your plan was for the NuCalm journeys. So with the Rescue 30, can you maybe walk us through like a day that if you didn't do it, what would be the difference maybe that day and maybe like the next day, just so we can see the impact?
It would actually be perfect. It's perfect one for today.
Mm.
I was actually having my worst day today. For some reason, my legs thought it was next week and that I was done. It's the first day I've really struggled to get going. I've recently been doing well. Like I just have this focus of averaging 12-minute miles, which is 5 miles an hour. That means I know within 10 hours of running, I've got to 50, which was my minimum target every day. If I do 12, then that's 60, and that's like an amazing day. So yeah, today legs were not in it at all. I was averaging, what was it, like 15, I think it was at its worst about 15:30 per mile. And then I came in close to 15 at mile 29 for my stop. Did the 30-minute rescue track, and then after that it meant that I could get to 50 miles. So I think I brought that down by, yeah, it was well over a minute a mile I brought it down by, so I could get here on time having run 50 miles. So that's a perfect example of having a bad day and then it flipping the switch totally to it being a good day and I'm getting close towards my goal again.
Yeah, I have the same results where, when I'm doing my high intensity stuff, if I can hit a 30-minute, especially the 30-minute rescue is like my favorite, the Chakra Reset is just incredible. And it just seems to just kind of like realign all my frequencies and all my energy. And I'm just back at it, Now you can't you still have to sleep and get recovery, but at least that focus and that stress level's down. So I'm very interested, like when you began this, there had to have been like this initial period where your body's like, whoa, and maybe your mind is like, whoa, I just did a couple days and I have like 50 more of these. I'm interested. Did you utilize maybe any of the other available tracks, journeys for that?
Yes. So early on and a few times along the way, I use Ignite as well. And it's a perfect one to use after the rescue track, because when I'm coming out of rescue, I'm feeling super calm. But if you want to get jacked up and it's like you've got an explosion in your brain. But yeah, it was funny early on in California. I remember, and the crew weren't ready for this, because a lot of them only Robbie here has actually used NuCalm, I think. So I did that 30-minute rescue track, and I remember I had this it was like the only trail section of the entire thing, and they had the poles ready. It was actually quite sandy. It was in the Mojave Desert, and I woke up from my 30-minute rescue, went into Ignite, and then all of a sudden, like, I had this uncontrollable desire. It's almost like you don't have a choice in the matter but to fucking rage, and excuse my French, but I literally burst out my we call it Hotel Will, where I sleep, and I just sprinted up this hill, and everyone was really confused. I was like, yeah, that's what Ignite does.
Yeah, I just raced yesterday. I did amazing. And like I get up now, I know I get up 3 hours before or 4 hours before the race, and I hit the 30 minutes, and then 40 minutes before I hit Ignite up until even when I get on the start line. So you and me figured out kind of a similar recipe. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So the beginning shock phase, right? Mentally, kind of walk us through how Ignite sort of pushed you through it, and maybe like the mental state, like how long did it persist, after that, to where you didn't you really didn't need it anymore?
Well, it's interesting because obviously your body goes into fight or flight when you're doing this. It's a bit confused. Naturally, like, we don't do this as human beings. It's not a normal thing to do. So yeah, like, you have an adjustment period. Fortunately, from previous challenges and doing this before, it wasn't nearly as bad as it was on the earlier stuff I've done. So there was an element of me being used to it. But still, yeah, like day 4, day 5, it's still that shock factor. But yeah, coming out of rescue and then going into Ignite, it launched me into the rest of the day. So those early days, we were strategizing that it was almost like keeping me on a leash in a way. It's too early in the game of something that's that big to be trying to do huge mileage days early. So we really did build it up as we went. I've had every week has kind of got a little bit more. I did my biggest week last week of 420 miles. I think it was 393 this week. So not as much, but the elevation coming into the Appalachian Mountains has been crazy. So I'm still proud of how this week's gone. And yeah, the adjustment period was a good one to get through, because then it almost becomes like clockwork. I wake up and I'm not stressed that I'm gonna make the distance. I know every day that I'm gonna get to 50 miles. There's only one day that it didn't happen, which was day 17. So yeah, it can still creep up on you, but I've got all the tools and right people around me to mitigate that. And obviously I'm going to be finishing a week or 8 days before I was actually supposed to. So it's gone better than I could have ever expected.
Yeah, that's incredible. You know, I'm curious too on, you know, you're hitting the elevation now and you're reporting that today was a tough day. Do you think that like maybe you need like 2 sessions? And
I've thought about,
and if you could just tell us, like, how did you figure out like 35 to 42 miles was like the sweet spot?
it was trial and error, really. So on the first day, I didn't actually use it. I got to 52 miles. I was like, this is day 1. I've done this a lot. Like, I'm just going to get through and then have as much sleep as possible. But yeah, it was just, it's a feeling. Like, I feel like I can do well up until that distance. And I also, as I was talking about, like the average times, like as long I keep pushing until it gets to a point where I realize that I'm flagging. And then I'm like, okay, this is a great time to stop and do rescue, because after it, I'm confident I'm going to feel better about life. I'm going to perform better again, and I'll finish the day somewhat with a smile on my face rather than dragging my knuckles, which I feel would happen if I didn't have this.
I totally agree 100%. You know, I got a couple more questions here, but I'm very interested. For me, one of the biggest impacts for me was that, I had a traumatic brain injury and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't do anything. I was very stressed, and NuCalm gave me my life back. And that's why I'm here today, volunteering my time to help educate everybody. What it allowed me to do is listen to my body a little better. Like, there wasn't so much noise from the world. I was able to just kind of bring that stress level down. And then all of a sudden I could hear my body a little better. So has that been, a similar effect? And that's maybe how you were able to detect at what point during your day you should, do the rescue.
And that's what I'd say as well about that calmness coming out of it, because there's a lot of stimulus on these runs. Like, I'm running towards traffic basically all day. Sometimes people are beeping at me. A lot of people are nice out here, so it's great. But there's so much going on, and there's so much stress, like internal stress that I put on myself to get the most out of every single day. But when I come out of it, there's that sense of I'm okay. There's points where you have so much feedback from your body to your mind on this. I learned so much about myself doing it, like negating certain issues. As I'm facing traffic a lot, I'm obviously, you guys drive on the right hand side of the road, so I'm on the left hand side of the road running into traffic, often a camber. So that's why if anyone's seen on my on my Instagram, I show my shoes sometimes. The left shoe is destroyed. The right one looks shiny and new. The left one's destroyed. So there's times when it's safe to, I'll go on the other side of the road, and that's all from being out here so long and kind of learning, but also being in the right headspace to be able to figure things out along the way. Like, there's always a niggle in one area, and you can negate it and continue to move forward. Whereas usually you might see like a niggle or an injury is a huge issue. There's always a way that you can, unless it's really, really bad and serious, obviously you can't carry on, but there's so many ways you can get over small issues and negate them and continue to press forward.
This is great because there's two observations here that I've seen with my competition and just folks that I've coached is when you're under a lot of stress, you won't experiment with stuff. Like you're not going to play around with workout routines or your home routine because you're just trying to survive. You're just like, whoa, I cannot introduce like any more variables and stressors in my life. And so what I've discovered is NuCalm has given me the ability to not only reduce my stress post workouts and pre-workouts and pre like racing, but during the course of my day, I'm like, you know what? Let me try to like tinker around with this, try to get better results. And that looks like that's exactly what you've been able to do here is that stress levels calm down. And I want to tell people who's tuning in, like running on the side of the road, people, I don't do this. And he's doing this for 3,000 miles. It's very stressful. And he's talking about the grade, like the grade of the road being uneven. If you have a degree of difference and you're running that much, I mean, you could have catastrophic effects on that because he's doing 50 miles, 15-minute pace, 12-minute pace. I mean, you're doing like 150,000 steps a day, right? I mean, do you know your step count?
Yeah, I think it's averaging out because I've been pushing now. I remember when I first looked at it, it was just under 100,000. And now with the 60-mile days, it's more like 115,000. So yeah, that tiny difference in, well, yes, 60,000 steps on each side is gonna do damage or affect things. So yeah, we often change things in every single day, whether it be a slightly different route to save 0.1 of a mile, slightly different tinkering of like the food I'm eating or when I'm having caffeine. Like everything is constantly evolving and changing. But I feel super confident in my team, and also, as I say, from learning so much about myself, like that's one of the biggest things that's come out of this. In the way we've planned it and the game plan itself and the execution, I feel extremely confident. Like even when I had that bad day of 47.5 miles, because I'd built up a cushion and I knew always what was to come, I wasn't devastated with that day, which I could have been. I could have been like, well, I failed because I'm supposed to be averaging 51 miles and I've messed up big time. But it wasn't that. It was like, I'm now going to get a really solid rest in. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm sure as shit going to go 52.5 plus to make up for that 2.5 I missed yesterday and probably then some. And yeah, it's been successful.
So when you come up, say short, or say, we'll just say, you didn't do what you were going to do. You're not stressed out about that and you're not shaming yourself and you're not going through this pity party, right?
Yeah, not in the slightest. And yeah, when I've done those bigger days as well, it's like it's testament to that. So yeah,
I tell
it's
you,
like
go ahead. Sorry, Will.
it's like you're out here so long, and as I say, I do put my own pressure on myself, but that's because the pressure I put on myself is me getting the most out of this, which is me putting the most into it. I have to come out of it knowing that I've given it everything and not left a shed of effort out on any stretch of this road or roads.
Yeah, so failure is not an option. I really do love this, and I can race against people who are like 10 times as good as me, but if their mental game isn't like up to par, they're just not going to perform. So it doesn't matter how much time you put in preparation. If you're not mentally present, like you just can't put it together, right? And that's been a huge impact for me in my training, is to make sure that not only am I motivated to get up every day at like 4 something, right? No matter what it is, if it's training or business or work, right? I'm getting up, right? And so I'm focused. I have the vision of the end result. And, there are other journeys, right, on NuCalm. And so you use deep sleep at night and you feel that is a powerful influence, and you're changing time zones, and the sun is, for every I think it was like every 60 miles there's like you lose a couple minutes of the sun, right? And so you have to deal with all of that circadian craziness. So tell me a little bit about how deep sleep kind of fixes that for you.
Well, I use it every day in normal life. regardless anyway. So I do love it. It's like these tantalizing sounds. It's almost like I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like it's pulling me in. And the whole thing of like, obviously I put every single day on this, I put my body and mind through extreme stress, and that really helps me just switch off and allow my body to rest. And that's the main thing. Like, it's so much recovery and performance. You can't have one without the other. If I wasn't sleeping on this, I would not be running the distances I am. You wouldn't get close. Like, sleep deprivation would kill this so quickly. But I've been getting, well, yes, I've been getting 7 hours and 45-ish hours of sleep every night on average, which ideally I would want more, but in the same vein, I wouldn't swap me having dinner with my crew and having like some normality to my life for 15 minutes, half an hour more of sleep, to just like finish now and get in hotel room and go to sleep. It's not what I'm about. So yeah, I have dinner with those guys. I feel normal. I bring the temperature and like the voices in my head of like pushing myself down, and then I'll get into my bed. Deep sleep's on, and it's like clockwork. And then I'm out, and they wake me up in the morning with a bowl of cereal. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this again.
That's great. And the focus tracks for me, so I do a lot of obstacle races and triathlons and stuff, and obstacle courses are incredibly important. So when I show up for a race, if I don't know it, right, I'll go around the course and I play focus and I visualize the obstacles and I visualize myself through it. I mean, it is a 20x increase in my ability to visualize myself going through the course. And it's crazy too, because I'll be going around the obstacles and people know me. Like, people don't beat me off obstacles in the world. Like, nobody beats me off an obstacle. And like, they'll be like, okay, what's Ken doing? They'll try to talk to me. I'm like, no. I got focus on me. You got to step back, like, get out of here. And like, if I do know, I'm doing focus and I'm visualizing myself like before the event. And so have you started picking up that yet? Or are you just like, hey man, it's just a road, like it doesn't matter yet?
No, I've used it in normal life. And the best way I can explain it is I've got a busy mind, and the best way I can describe it is like a racehorse, right? They've got blinkers on. I'm way too much like, oh, this needs doing, this needs doing, this needs doing. But when I've used focus, it's very much allows me to do that one task and then like move on to the next thing. But I haven't used it on this. I've got my routine down. It seems to be working, so I haven't bought in anything else just yet.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you don't want to mess around with something that's proven, too much there. So I totally get it. So you said learning about yourself. The two big prerequisites for being great and being experiencing a ton of success is, number one, failure is a lesson, right? It's you cannot just go to this pity party. You'll never move forward. The second is learning about oneself. So the introspection, this for me was unbelievably powerful, just to learn about why I do things. And when you're in a calm and focused state, like, you get to really like experience yourself. And so you're going through this unbelievable journey for an incredible cause. That's something that nobody on the planet is doing, this unbelievable amounts of stress. What have you learned about yourself?
One of the things I've learned, which is probably good for maybe other people to hear as well, is that you're never going to find perfect, and you're always going to feel lazy at different points. Like, anyone that speaks and says that they're always giving 100% in everything they do, I can't believe it, because even on this, where I feel like I'm giving 100%, and to the outside world, people are like, oh, he's grinding so hard. There are moments in every single day, in every single section that I run, where there's a time where I switch off and I choose not to go as hard as I could. And I was beating myself up at the start for that, being like, oh, I'm being lazy. Why am I being lazy? But you can't be on 100% charge, full revs the whole time. And it's just about giving myself a bit of space and being like, okay, so even when I'm outside of this realm in my civilian life, like, there's times I'm gonna skip a corner or not eat the right thing, or not do that last rep. But as long as like there's forward momentum, And like I'm saying, taking 115,000 steps or whatever, every single step forward has been closer to my goal to New York. I don't know how many steps that's going to be in total, but everything is made up of tiny little increments. And just learn not to beat yourself up if you sometimes don't take them all at 100 miles an hour. So that's been a big one for me, and I'm glad I've figured that one out, because I think with everything we always assume that things are going to get better and we're going to find that perfect, but it doesn't exist, and the journey is a beautiful thing.
And that's okay, right? It's what you see on social media is not the bar, right? And a lot of that stuff's fake anyway. And so you just live your own life,
Correct.
right? Yeah, that's incredible. This is so transferable to so many other parts in life. So my kids are one of the only human beings on this entire planet who've been NuCalm almost every single day of their lives. And we had my second son with NuCalm playing. I said, set the whole thing up, and it was a totally pain-free, pretty much stress-free birth. And I delivered both of my kids. And so the second one, we finally had NuCalm. We didn't know about it before, but this stuff is powerful, right? If you can use it running across the entire darn country, and my wife can use it to have a pain-free birth. And she used to do special ed childcare, and a lot of these kids, very stressed kids, and she'd put NuCalm on, and there'd be 5 kids asleep in our house, like on the ground. And it was an amazing sight. And so the application of this are absolutely immense. And Will, you are like the living, breathing example of this. I think we both are. The amounts of stress and performance that we're expecting of ourselves through all of our aspects of life, right? I mean, husband, son, like father, friend, athlete, business person, and military officer for me. I mean, those are all lives that people live individually, and we're trying to pull them all off. So we certainly need this, right?
Yeah, I agree. And like I put up on the story the other day when I was like talking about people joining. I've done over 400 sessions. I'm not going to waste my time on something that I don't believe in and feel incredible results from. And on this challenge and on the previous one in 48:30, like, it's been such a game changer for me. And as I say, in normal life, I think everyone needs that reset in the middle of the day. I like it after lunch, you get that natural lull in our circadian rhythm, and I like doing it then. And then I wake up and I feel ready to tackle whatever's on the agenda for the rest of the day in a much calmer way than I would have done if I was just, hitting a coffee and being like slapping myself in the face and going, come on, Will, let's go and get after it and get it done. So yeah, I feel very lucky that I found NuCalm, and I'm blessed that they're supporting me along with this journey. So yeah, I couldn't vouch for it more highly.
Yeah. And it's like a bonus day for me. And I used to be to like leave work in the military, like, and now I don't care. Like, I go out to my truck and I hit 30-minute session. I go back into work because I'm like 15 times more productive and focused and just like confident. Like, okay, before it's like, I don't want to respond to that email. Now it's like, oh, look at all these things I can take care of. And I just rock and roll, right? And like, it's a bonus day, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, the whole thing of it being like a reset button is you may as well. Sometimes I wake up, and I tell you what, on this is funny. The only reason I know it's the same day and it's only been half an hour and not like an 8-hour sleep is because I can taste the food that I'd eaten before I'd gone into the rescue track. And that's God's honest truth. Like, today I was KO'd. I woke up, I was like, yeah, I can still taste that tuna wrap I just ate.
That's great. Speaking of tuna wrap, I think we have a CEO that wants to butt in, right?
Yes, he does. And we have to let Will rest. Even though I know you're using rescue and deep sleep, you still need to have some downtime, and we want to be respectful of that. So I would like to introduce Jim Poole, President and CEO of Solace Life Sciences, and he is going to share some exciting news with you.
Good evening, everybody. Will, congratulations in advance. Next Saturday is going to be an amazing day for you. Tavern on the Green, New York City, Central Park. And Ken, thanks for stepping up and being you look like a radio host anyway, but for those of you who don't know, Lieutenant Colonel Ken Corigliano, his physical feats are surpassed only by his intellect. He's one of the top analysts in the world and mentally capable of doing amazing things. So his monkey mind won't stop. NuCalm literally puts him into focus. And thank you both for sharing your vulnerability, sharing, Will, you look very relaxed. You look like you're in the Adirondacks. Now, we know you're in the Appalachian Mountains, but you look like you're chilling on summer vacation before Memorial Day. So NuCalm may be new to many of you out there, but it's certainly not new to us. For 33 years, we've been inventing, refining, clinically proving, and helping humanity. 33 years. We began this in 1990. And our product has served many folks, and many of you have never heard of NuCalm. And it's not because we keep great things a secret. For 12 years, we were a highly regulated FDA Class 3 medical device that sold exclusively for $6,000 to the medical community, the United States Military, Department of Defense, doctors, pilots, and cancer patients. But in November 2021, after 5 years, we successfully transitioned a Class 3 medical device to a mobile consumer app. So the exciting news we have for you is we've done over 2 million surgical procedures replacing general anesthesia, people getting cut open listening to physics. So if you're curious how powerful rescue is, that's pretty powerful. We've been working with the best athletes in the world since 2011. We've never sponsored an athlete. We've worked with the best athletes that you can think of. You can see some on TV tonight in the NBA and the NHL. We've never sponsored an athlete before we met Robbie Ballinger and now William. Now, why did we choose to sponsor this event with William? Two things. One, we learned the most from the extremes. If someone's going to run like Forrest Gump across the United States and it's not a movie, that's pretty freaking phenomenal. Number two, the effort with cancer. Tomorrow, I will speak to a whole group of people battling stage 4 cancer at the Comprehensive Cancer Wellness Program, something we've been doing since October of 2014. So this is near and dear to our heart, and the opportunity for us to support Will on this incredible endeavor, it's really fun for us. So the big special to do is we've lowered the price by over 99%. So for you mathematicians, $6,000, you can now enter NuCalm for as low as 50 cents a day through a mobile app. All you need to bring to the party is headphones, a mobile device, and sometimes an eye mask. And the number one product or subscription we offer is of the 6 channels, we have Edge, which gives you everything we have to offer for $49.99 a month. So people ask us, hey, do you have a free trial? Because you're an app. Well, first thing we say is we're not an app. We're a 33-year-old neuroscience company that's invested $42 million to create the world's most powerful, patented, clinically proven neuroscience that solves stress. I wouldn't consider us an app. What I would consider us is determined to help as many people as possible and making this as easy as possible. So we deliver our product to an app. So we sit here as a neuroscience company and we think, maybe we should do some kind of trial. And that's what we're launching. The 7-day NuCalm Reset Challenge. So for this endeavor, live here on May 21st in the year 2023, Sunday night from Delaware, we are launching the NuCalm Reset Challenge. What is it? You sign up for Edge, $49.99 a month. For 7 days, you pay nothing. We guide you using our best practices and what we've learned along the way, including things from William and Ken. And over the first 7 days, you get to try all 6 channels at your leisure: rescue, flow state, power nap, deep sleep. And within that period, if you're not interested, if you feel like you can't fit it into your life, you can cancel with no obligation. So this is our kind of gift to support Will running across the United States of America. At some point when he's done and he doesn't need to get to bed and rest and do it again, we can talk about things like, what was the best state you ran through? State of confusion, brother. No, what was the coolest animal you saw? How about the coolest car or license plate? Whatever. I mean, he's out there running by himself in isolation for 50 plus days. That would turn most people insane. So the NuCalm Reset Challenge launches tonight. After this, you will receive an email from our company, anybody who registered, and you'll have a link and you'll say, hey, I want to do this. You sign up, you create an account, and voila, you begin the challenge. And hopefully you will see the power of taking care of yourself, of balancing your stress, of restoring your sleep cycles, helping you focus and helping you perform at levels that are extraordinary. Am I going to go out because I'm using NuCalm and run with Will? If you've seen me, you'll know the truth. No, I was not built to run. I was built to run on my arms, maybe. Am I going to go out and be a professional athlete because we train athletes? No. But am I going to be a good human being? Yes. Am I going to think clearly? Yes. Am I going to be more patient? Yes. Will I be more present with my family? Yes. Will I be a better lover, friend, father, son? Yes. That's the key. Let us help you manage your stress, and addition by subtraction, we take stress out of your life and we're all better human beings. So the NuCalm Reset Challenge starts tonight in honor of William Goodge. Thank you, William. Take care of yourself. KC, Ken Corigliano, thank you very much. And Amy, you rock. Everybody be well, take care of yourselves. And Will, if you see this dude in a suit tomorrow running by you on the street on the right side of the road, it's me. Like, I'm gonna beat you.
I feel like that was a locker room speech. I'm so hyped.
Hey. Hey, Jim, too, if anyone reaches out to me, I will respond. So if you want to know the best practices or some of my secrets that we can't do in 30 minutes, hit me up on Instagram or social media. I respond to everything.
Yeah, you're great. Your background is blurred out a little bit, but those are axes from savage races that Ken has won along the route of his life, and all those medals. Yeah. So he's in beast mode, and he just competed yesterday.
Okay, so I'm gonna end the meeting because I'm going to ask that William go get his rest. And please be on the lookout for an email that will be sent to you within minutes. Good luck, William. We are rooting for you. And just so you know, you're going to get a lot of DMs because people want to join you on your last week. So
we love you, Will. We love what you're doing. We love you. We love you. We love you. And make it happen.
Yeah.
I love you guys too. Thank you all so much for coming.
Doing it, Will.
Bye.
Take care. All right, I'm going to end the meeting now, Jim. Thank you.